Hey guys, today we're going to be reading the first installment of a chapter book, and that is Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. This was actually a special request from one of my students. All right, Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. Chapter 1. Mr. and Mrs. Watson have a pig named Mercy. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson makes a special lunch. Time for our little Saturday something, Mrs. Watson says. You've outdone yourself, Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson says. Oink, says Mercy. Every Saturday after lunch, Mr. Watson goes outside. Mercy follows him. They stand in the driveway. Together, they admire Mr. Watson's convertible. Are you ready? Asks Mr. Watson. Oink, says Mercy. Mr. Watson opens the passenger door. Mercy hops into the car. She sits behind the wheel. She snuffles contentedly. Can you see she's sitting? What does she want to do? Chapter 2, says Mr. Watson every Saturday. You, my dear, are a porcine wonder. If you remember from the first book, a porcine wonder means an amazing pig. But even porcine wonders cannot drive cars. Mr. Watson gently pushes Mercy towards the passenger seat. But Mercy does not move. She does not want to sit in the passenger seat. Mercy wants to drive. Ha, 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 says Mr. Watson again. He pushes less gently. Scoot over, my dear. Mercy does not move. Help me, Mr. Watson calls out. Every Saturday, Mrs. Watson steps outside. Darling, Mrs. Watson said, if you let Mr. Watson drive, I will make you an extra helping of hot buttered toast. I will have it waiting for you when you get back home. Mercy narrows her eyes. She loves hot buttered toast. She also loves extra helpings. Slowly, very slowly, she moves over to the passenger side. What a dear, says Mrs. Watson. She claps her hands. You are such a good sport, darling. Yes, says Mr. Watson, she most certainly is. He gets in the car and sits behind the wheel. He turns the key in the ignition. The Watson convertible rumbles to life. Chapter 3. Bon voyage! Mrs. Watson calls out, Bon voyage, my dears. When you get home, we will all have hot buttered toast. Goodbye, Mrs. Watson, Mr. Watson shouts. He backs the car out of the driveway very quickly. He does not look behind him. Mr. Watson is a forward-thinking man. He does not believe in looking back. Oink, says Mercy. Already she is having a good time. And we're off, says Mr. Watson. We are off on an adventure. Does it look like she's having a good time? I think she's having a great time. Chapter 4. Eugenia Lincoln and baby Lincoln live next door to the Watsons. Every Saturday, the Lincoln sisters watch Mercy and Mr. Watson back out of the driveway. Every Saturday, Eugenia is displeased. Mr. Watson is a very bad driver, she says. He is a menace behind the wheel. What do you think menace means? If she thinks he's a bad driver, what does it mean he's a menace? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Yes, sister, says baby. Furthermore, says Eugenia, it is my firm opinion that pigs should not be taken for rides in automobiles, particularly that pig. That pig is a sly pig. I do not trust her. No, sister, says baby. Baby looks down the road. Does she look like a baby? Why do you think her name is Baby? Remember from the last book, she's the older sister and she's the younger sister. So even though she's not a baby, her nickname is Baby. Kind of funny, huh? The car has disappeared. Mr. Watson and Mercy are gone. Folly, says Eugenia Lincoln. She shakes her fist. It is folly, I say. Yes, sister, says baby. But secretly, baby Lincoln thinks that a little folly wouldn't be a bad thing. What do you think folly means? All right, I'm going to pause there, and we'll pick up the next time. Ask your parents and talk to your parents, what do you think is going to happen next? What do you think baby Lincoln is thinking? What does folly mean? Do you think she has plans for what she's going to do? All right, talk to your parents, and we'll talk again. We'll read more next time.